Yeah, good day again. Welcome to another biology class. Today we shall be continuing from where we stopped in the last class. Precisely, we have discussed about the cellular respiration, and under this cellular respiration, we define our respiration. We also talk about the two types of cellular respiration, the aerobic part and the anaerobic part. Even though we didn't discuss extensively both on the aerobic and the anaerobic, but we also talk about the type of respiration system. In this type of respiration system, we discuss about four things. We talk about body surface. We discuss about the gills, the trachea, and the lungs. So in the last class, we discussed extensively both on body surface and the gills. So we talked about the organisms that usually use the body surface. We talked about the amoeba and the paramecium. We little bit talked about the amphibians. In these amphibians, when we talk about the body surface, we mention something of cutaneous respiration. Yes, we mention about we talk about the cutaneous respiration, the kind of respiration that occur in the skin. So from there we proceed to the gills. We discuss on the two types of gills, the simple gills and the complex gills. So in the simple gills, we make sure we mention about the tadpole and the likes. And in the complex gills, we made about the fish that usually use this such as bony fish. We mention about the complex gills. So today we'll be talking about the trachea. In this trachea, we all know that majorly it is being used by anthropoda. Yes, anthropoda. Because anthropoda, even though not all anthropoda, let me say the land anthropoda, because we shouldn't forget that anthropoda have subclass of anthropoda. Don't forget we have the insecta, the class of insecta, the class of arachnida, the subclass of myriapoda, and the class of the insecta, the arachnida, the myriapoda, and the class of crustacea. So these are the four classes of the subclasses of the anthropoda. You know, an anthropoda is a class, and the subclass are the insecta, the arachnida, myriapoda, and the crustacea. We have discussed extensively on this class in our previous videos. So today, majorly the respiratory system for this trachea, they are basically on the anthropoda, and the part of anthropoda is the insecta. Again, trachea, they are useful for the anthropoda family, but not only anthropoda family, because they are subclass of anthropoda. They are mainly for the insecta in the class of anthropoda. Because arachnida, they are using the long book, the crustacea, they are using the gills, and they have different respiratory organs. So the insecta are the ones that are using trachea. An example of insecta that are using trachea. Okay, before that. Okay, so trachea, they are meant for the insecta. But how do oxygen? Because we are coming from the cellular respiration. We are coming from cellular respiration. So the air, the air. I won't talk about the what about the component of air because I've discussed this extensively in the last video. The component of air. So this air will be the one to what? To enter through the what? Through the spiracle of what? Of insecta. Yes. Because we are dealing with cellular respiration. Now we are coming back to what? How the oxygen or the air enters through the what? Through the what? Through the spiracle. This spiracle is the one that we absorb the what? The oxygen. Let's see a little bit of diagram of what? How trachea looks. Okay, so let's see like this. So let's assume there's a pole like this. Before a pole, there's something like this, and after the pole, which is this, there's not another something like this, which stand like this. Good. Let's assume this is a small diagram of what? Of the trachea system. In this, we have something called because in every biology there must be what? Diagram. This is interguments. Yes. This is now the trachea box. Yes. And this is now the word. In this, something like this is now the word spiracle. Okay. Let's use this as a in this is the word tracheolis. Okay, let's use a little bit diagram of this to explain the trachea system in insecta. Don't forget that what in insecta the cockroach has at least 10 spiracle in cockroach. Yes. So let's assume the diagram of a what? Of a trachea system. In this is a what? Trachea box, right? In the trachea box, you know, when the trachea is being divided, it's divided into what? Into tracheolis. This is subdivision of the what? Of the trachea. But this is spiracle. The spiracle is the one that's spread. That we absorb the what? The air or oxygen that is coming, and it will get into this place. The diagram of this, which is the trachea box. After a wave, a series of waves, this trachea box releases what? The oxygen into the tracheolis. And these tracheolis are the one that goes into the what? Ear sac. So the air enters through the what? Through the spiracle, and from spiracle it goes into the what? Into the trachea system. Though the trachea system now divided, you know, the branches of tracheas is called the tracheolis, and these tracheolis are the one that enter the ear sac, and that enter the ear sac. From the ear sac, it is now what? Going to the blood system. Good. So in short, is that what? In the insects, once the air was absorbed by the trachea, it goes through the what? Through the sac, from sac through the what? Through the branches of the trachea, which is the tracheolis. The tracheolis now go back to the what? Go back to the what? To the air sac. This is just the diagram. Let's say this is the little bit diagram that can explain how trachea is being absorbed, how oxygen is being absorbed by the trachea. So after this, now let's now take what? The lungs. You know, this is lung is used by what? By mammals. Yes, mammals. especially human being. Okay. So now let's talk about what the lungs. Majorly by mammals. Mammals. Yes. The lungs are majorly used by the mammals. And we all know that we have 5 classes of what? 5 classes. Okay. But we are not going on that place. We are going through the human being. Human being. Okay. So lungs in a human being is divided into 2. The left lungs and the right lungs. Yes, the left lungs and the right lungs. But don't forget that these lungs are the respiratory organs for the what? For the mammals. But particularly we are discussing on the human. And this lung that is being divided into 2. One of the lungs goes into the what? Digestive tract. And the other one goes into the what? The right goes into the digestive tract. The left now goes to the what? The left tract now goes to the pharynx. Yes. Lungs are being divided into 2. The left one and the right one. One of the division goes into the digestive tract. The other one goes into the pharynx, right? But don't forget that what? Pharynx and larynx. Okay, before that, nostrils and mouth. They are both used to what? Is a passage for oxygen. Yes, both nostrils and mouth. Ears enter our nostrils, likewise ears enter our mouth. But both the nostrils and the what? And the mouth, they have their opening. Let's assume this is the nostrils. Yes. And this is a bigger mouth. Okay. This is the bigger mouth. Both now the nostrils and the lungs, they are now open. That is why one of the lungs is what? Is open into the pharynx. They are now open to pharynx. Do you get that? Let's come back from this. Lungs, we have already known that lungs are basically used for the respiratory organs in human being, right? And these lungs is being enclosed by what? Is being enclosed by thorax. Yes, our lungs, we have what? The thorax at our chest, right? At our chest. So this lungs is now being enclosed under the thorax. Okay, now this lung that is being divided into 2, which is the right and the left. One enters to the digestive tract, the other one enters to the pharynx. But how does it enter to the pharynx? Okay, now let's come back to this. Nose, which is what? The organs that which was the passage for the oxygen, and the mouth. Just like we are using nose to take in oxygen, the mouth we are also using as also to take in oxygen. But nose and mouth have their opening. This opening, they are now open to the pharynx. Now, pharynx now divided into 2. Pharynx now divided into 2. Okay. Pharynx now divided into 2. Now, one come back to what? To this digestive system. And the other one now goes into the what? Into the larynx. Yes. The other one now goes to the what? Goes to the larynx. Right? Okay. Remember that what? Larynx and pharynx, they are of not the same thing. Because this is a passage. Both are passage. Good. But don't forget that what? This larynx, let me start from pharynx. is the one that we easily see, right? That's what at times when a patient is suffering from a particular disorder, they can say he's suffering from tonsillitis. Is a disorder of this what? Disorder of this pharynx, right? Okay. These pharynx now what? Now have what? Branches. Branches, just like this one also have branches. Larynx has branches and pharynx also has branches. Now the branches of this is now going to what? Bronchi. Bronchi. Yes. Bronchi. Bronchi is the smaller parts at which what? At which the oxygen pass through from the pharynx to the larynx to the bronchi, and through bronchi to the what? At times they usually call it ear tube. Ear tube or bronchioles. Bronchioles. A smaller tiny bronchi is called bronchioles. From the larynx, which is giving branches to what? To bronchi, or at times this bronchi now branches again to the ear tube or what? Or to the bronchioles. This now bronchioles is the one that enter to the alveoli. Bronchioles now enter to the what? Alveoli. 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 Sorry. Alveoli. Yes, now enter to the alveoli. Alveoli is the one that what? That is well supplied with blood. It's well supplied with blood, because this is the point at which the what? Oxygen is being dissolved and carbon dioxide is poor at this stage. There is excess oxygen in these alveoli and very poor level of carbon dioxide. Now let me take it again once again. Now we have what? The lungs. How does the lungs look like? Lungs is being covered by the thorax. By the thorax. For natural being, we all know that what? We have 2, 3, 4, 5. What are the list of different thorax? Cervical is number 1. Cervical. But I don't want to go to that aspect. Cervical is around the neck. The thorax is around the chest, right? Okay, good. This lungs is around the chest, but it's being covered by the what? By the thorax. By the thorax. You know, under this there's something like rib cage and some other parts. But the thorax are the one that majorly cover this with the lungs. Now the lungs is divided into two. The left lung and the right lungs, right? Now the lungs now come back to what? To the digestive tract and to the pharynx. Now, but before the oxygen can enter, to get to the extent where lungs is, you have to pass through stages. The stage that what? The oxygen you have to pass through either nose, majorly nose, because nose are the major organs of the what? For oxygen absorber and carbon dioxide in exhale. But we also use mouth. Let's assume we cover our nose, we are breathing through our mouth as well, but it is no larger part. Okay, so this nose and mouth now opening into the pharynx. The now pharynx now break down again to give us the branches of what? Into the digestive system, where it enters the digestive system, and the other is going to the larynx. Now larynx now come back to branches into the bronchi. Now bronchi branches again to give us the ear tube or what? The bronchioles. The bronchioles now enters to the what? To the alveoli. The alveoli is the one that has the blood supply, excess blood supply, where the oxygen that is coming from the nostril has to dissolve in it, because you know that we have oxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood and deoxygenated blood. Do you get that? Aha. So just like we have in our heads, where we have excess blood, it has to collect what? The oxygen. The oxygen has to be supplied to that blood that pass through the earth. So this is the point at which the oxygen has to dissolve. before it's now going to what, to the earth to take the to be part of the what, the oxygen that goes into the what, to the our earth, HEART, into our earth. Yes. So in short is that what, the most the oxygen that is coming through the what, through this through this nose has to be what, dissolved into the what, into the alveoli. But this is the passage of everything, from nose to the pharynx to the larynx, from larynx to the bronchi, from bronchi to the bronchioles, from bronchioles to the alveoli. So this is now the what, the passage of what, of our air into the what, into the lungs, and from lungs, from this is now going back to the what, to the lungs. So this is our a short explanation on what is cellular respiration, but not cellular respiration, the type of what, the respiration system that we have under cellular respiration. But don't forget that in our last class we discussed that what, after we have discussed about the what, the four major parts of the what, four major type of the cellular four major type of the what, of the respiratory system. Now we are coming back in full topic of what, aerobic and anaerobic. So don't forget, in the subsequent video, please don't forget to like and subscribe to this particular channel so you can be notified whenever we post another video. Thank you very much.